with the lumbar passive range of motion, and it can be a little bit tricky, okay? So do you want to put this up and just so I can see your low back? Okay. Yep, that's good. Okay. Put your arms across your chest. Okay, so it's gonna. I'm gonna still give her kind of the same bear hug here, and then what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna shift her actually backwards a little bit so that I can then flex her forwards. Because if I don't do that and I just flex her forwards, that's not going to be as passive because she's going to feel like she's falling. All right, I put my hand just on her low back just to help kind of guide the motion, but also just to feel as well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to push her back and then flex. Okay. Excellent. So for extension, I'm going to drive her forward a little bit more so that I can keep her center mass over her base of support. Okay, so with my left hand, I have it right here on her pelvis. It's more on like the sacrum, and I'm actually pushing forward a little bit just so that she kind of does this, okay, versus just leaning back. Okay, so I'm actually going to drive forward first and then lean. Drive and lean. This can be tricky because I even felt myself a little bit that time, like turning her. So you really want to make sure that you keep them straight, and that from your body mechanics, you're not kind of twisting them. Okay, so your partner can give you feedback about that. All right, so it's flexion, extension. So side bending. What we're actually going to do, so I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to grip it underneath her hip here. Okay, so same principle. I'm going to bring her toward me and then over. Okay? So over, or toward me and then over. Okay. And then for rotation, can you see that if I was going to rotate her here, I go to here and then I'm limited because that's as far as I can turn, because then I'm kind of running into her. So the way you need to position yourself is actually more toward the front. You still want to control their trunk and then forward, but at least I can shift my weight a little bit farther. Okay, so and you can kind of play around with it, but you might even need to bring yourself a little bit more forward depending on if you get to the end range and you feel like you're stopping because that's as far as you can reach versus getting to their true end range. Okay.
So technically you're only supposed to get 3 to 5 degrees per segment. So
this is just kind of gross movement though. So remember with the information we're trying to gather with passive range.
And as far as like documentation of it, and like documenting the progression, you can't actually do degrees because it's not that specific. Could you just do 50% or 70%?
Yeah, I usually do percentages and then your ability. So and infield.
Okay.
Was it an empty infield or was there less? Sometimes there'll just be less pain than with active, which might clear you more toward like a muscular pathology. Okay, and then you do the same thing on the opposite side. Do you guys want me to show just so you guys can see it on this side? Sure. Okay. Did you do flexion extension or do you want me to do that one again? Okay. So we'll do side bending. So you're gripping up under the hip. Shift my weight backwards. And then rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that one can be a little bit tricky because you're getting right in there, making a lot of body contact. That's what you want, and keeping that center of mass over their base of support. So that's what's a little bit tricky. Let's go through resisted too, and then we'll just break off and then practice those. Okay. So resisted is pretty similar to what we've done before. Same position. I'm going to bring her into a little bit of flexion, and then I'm going to say, can you hold here? Don't let me pull you up. And from here, I'm just kind of standing up. So I'm not pulling with my arms. I'm just standing up. And you slowly ramp up, okay? For extension, it's going to be the same thing. So I bring her backwards, but I'm actually going to use my left hand here. Hold here, don't let me move you. Good. Okay. For side bending, it'll be the same. So I'll use the same grip. Bring her a little bit here, and then I'll say, actually, I do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to side bend her toward me. That way I can use that same principle of just standing up, okay? So I'm going to side bend her toward me, and then I'm just going to push up and hold here, okay? So I'm actually testing right side bending, okay? And then rotation will be the same, so I'll bring it a little bit, let's go into the
Sorry.
left. And then I'm gonna say, don't let me turn you, don't let me turn you, so I'm gonna pull toward me, actually. Does that, so with each one, does that reproduce your symptoms?
Would you pull them, or would you just have them turn towards you, so you just push the other way?
So I like to give the resistance versus just having
Right.
them.
I meant, but you'd be testing the other side. But like, are we supposed to be pushing, or are we supposed to be pulling?
This is just my,
Like,
I pull a little bit with this one, I'm just resistant.
okay.